Hello again, my lovelies, and welcome to another one of these maker videos related to the Wheel of the Year pagan calendar that I'm developing with my good friend, the photographer Mark Page. And today you're going to be learning all about Mabon. So here we are on location at a farm that a friend of ours, Arif, who'll be in the photographs. This is his little farm and he's lent it to us, and he's got this lovely little apple orchard here, which is appropriate for Mabon. And Mark's just sussing out the right angle, because I think if we're taking up through the apple trees, we've got nothing behind there. Yeah, and get all the apple orchard behind it as well. Yeah, that'll look very nice. This is going to be a good one. The props table, musical instruments, and there's our reindeer Obby Oss. Looking back over the photographs we've done so far, I couldn't help noticing that there was one thing missing from all of these photographs, which does tend to turn up at an awful lot of folk festivals and seasonal events throughout the country, and that's an Obby Oss. Now, Obby Osses, hobby horses, come in a range of different types. I mean, I've made models of a few. I mean, this type is called the tourney horse, and it's basically a stylized representation of someone riding on a horse. Now, this one's based a little bit on the Padstow Obby Oss. It's based a little bit on the Minehead Osses. It's also based a little bit on the Hoodin horses that they have in the south of England. And it's usually someone underneath there. There's a stylized horse's head here, something that once upon a time was a representation of a person sitting on the horse, but is now just a stylized figure. And then you've got the actual body of the horse, which is usually covered in a sheet or rags or whatever. So that's the tourney horse. And then the other type of oss is the mast oss, or the mast horse. And that usually takes the form of a wooden head, or sometimes a horse's skull mounted on the top of a pole or mast, and then a costume or some sort of cloak covering the person who's controlling it. And this is like the Mary Lloyd of Wales, or like the Penwith Osses down in Cornwall. So I thought it would be nice to make something like this. Didn't quite go the way I planned. It's that time again, hot wire cutting polystyrene block time. So now I've got the basics of a head shape with a snapping jaw. The next job, as you can see, was to actually start adding some cardboard to surround it, and to add a hinge mechanism so that we can open and shut the jaw. You can use a hinge on the outside, hinge on the inside to keep it in place. We've got a nice snapping jaw. We're now at the next stage where I've clad the outside in cardboard and then used masking tape to cover all the gaps. We've now got a nice body, we've now got a nice frame with a good working hinge for the head. So I've added some horns. They actually cost me £1 in a pound shop a couple of Christmases ago. Couldn't resist them, but you can probably guess now I'm making a kind of reindeer head. I've also added some extra cardboard for the mouth now, and a tongue, and these side pieces which stop the jaw moving left and right. I now have this black fleece material, and the next job is going to be to cover the head. Right, that's the whole head covered, and it's a bit of a shoddy patchwork job, but no one's going to notice from a distance. We have ears. A little while ago, my partner in crime on this calendar project, Mark Page, the photographer, gave me a kind of faux American First Peoples headdress. You know, one of those big headdresses that the chiefs would wear with the feathers all sticking out the back. Well, the feathers had all rotted away and it was in a right old state. And even if I put aside, you know, thoughts about cultural appropriation and that sort of thing, it obviously wasn't something we could use for this project, but the beadwork on the headdress was beautiful and it seemed a shame to waste that. So I've turned it into the harness for this sort of reindeer type Hoodin horse. And I was particularly struck by this little circlet, and there's one on each side of the head here, because it's got a 5-pointed star in there. And the 5-pointed star, of course, is very close to the heart of modern witches and Wiccans because it's the pentagram. In case you're wondering what the pentagram actually means, it's quite simple. It represents the 4 elements of earth, air, fire and water, along with spirit. So in other words, it's the 5 main elements that make up the whole universe as far as paganism is concerned. And that's also singularly appropriate for this photo shoot, because this is all about Mabon, which kind of coincides with the apple harvest. And if you cut an apple across its waist, across its middle, you'll see that inside you've got a 5-pointed star. You've got the seeds arranged in a 5-pointed star, and that makes the apple kind of sacred to pagans. It's a gift of the gods, basically. It's a gift of Mother Earth. And of course, if they're stored properly, apples will take you all the way through the winter. So I thought that was a nice touch, being able to add that 5-pointed star. And of course, recycle something that otherwise would have been thrown away. Talking of which, I am a great believer in skip diving. And this old lampshade is in very good nick. And I can't just let it get thrown away in a skip. So yes, this will be something. As you can see, I've added quite a few bells now to the back of this, and there's all the pom-poms that I've rescued from the lampshade, plus some beads and some, I think these are actually from plumbing supplies again, to make the headdress. I want to do a little bit more up here yet. I am quite happy to confess, I do like this chrome spray paint. It's a great effect. It really looks like chrome. Put a bit thick there. Actually, it looks like beaten metal, so I'm not going to moan too much. Lovely. Just leave that to dry. I decided that it would be a good idea to chrome the antlers on this hobby horse or hobby reindeer, simply because they're black and I don't think they'd stand out in the photograph, whereas the silver will catch the light of the flash or whatever light source we're using for the photo shoot. And this is my pug Harris, who's come out to see what I'm doing. He likes to supervise, and by supervise I mean pee on the bucket. Thank you. And now to go with their bling antlers, I've given them a bit of a forehead diadem thing here in the shape of a 5-pointed star, of course. Just need this little area to decorate, and I think we're just about done and we can attach it to the pole. Okay, so it's time to address the elephant in the room, or the reindeer in the room, and that's this nose. I've never liked it. I've tried to texture it to make it look a bit more fleshy. It doesn't work. The nostrils are in the wrong place. Everything about it is wrong. But I didn't have a block of XPS foam or something like that I could carve it from that would make it look good. So I've left it as it was. And then today I suddenly thought, do you know what? I've got a block of air dry clay, that sort of paper clay stuff, kicking around. It might still be good enough. So I dug it out and I did some carving and I made a better nose. That's much more like it. That's the shape of the nostrils. That's the shape of the nose. Yeah, it takes forever to dry this stuff. I've even tried hollowing it out, but as you can see, it's still damp inside. Okay, so it took 4 days for it to completely dry out, but once it did, I sprayed it grey, coated it with PVA, painted in the nostrils, and it's now attached, and my God, it's 1,000,000% better than what I had before. I'm very much more pleased with this. Just mounting it on the pole now and we're done. Now I've been looking at the top of the pole, and what I've got on here is a wooden circle that I've screwed in place top of the pole with a couple of tacks, 2 or 3 tacks just to stop it from spinning. Then I've drilled 3 holes because when the head's mounted on that, there will be screws going up those 3 holes or long nails into the head to hold the head in place. Plus there'll be a blanket draped over it or a sheet. So we're nearly there. I've got this fabric which from a distance looks black, and then you get up a little bit closer, particularly with the sun shining on it, so you can see it's actually got a pattern on it. But the great thing is it's semi-see-through. If you're inside you can see out, but if you're outside looking in you can't see the person standing underneath. So that is perfect. So I'm now going to attach this to our pole. Then we can mount the reindeer's head on top. Do you know, it's not looking too bad, is it? Hang on, you can't see my thumb. Hang on, where's my thumb there? Now let's see it in action. So, do you two want to go and get into costume now?
Ah, good joke.
Oh, look. Oh, and here's Arif. Hello, Arif. Very nice. Very nice. He's going to outshine us though, isn't he? Look at him.
Nobody can outshine Andy anyway. Let's face it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it's pretty good.
When he's got his hat on, he
Our musicians getting ready here. Yeah, you don't need to pick with the mandolin. Hello, Puss. Hello, Puss. Hello. 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 We got a fan. We got a fan. Okay, let's go. And of course, the Obby Oss too. As I said, it's the biggest and most complex of the shoots because we've just got so many people involved. And we've actually got some musicians. Real musicians.
I love the horse.
Thank you.
That's great.
He's good fun, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Does he have a name?
Barry. No, I don't know. No name at all.
Right, somebody. That's a nice shot.
That is a nice shot.
Chris, come out a little bit, mate. Okay, Andy in then.
That's a lovely group shot.
Great, beautiful. That's cool, that's lovely. Okay, here we go.
Fabulous. Mabon happens towards the end of September at the time of the autumn equinox when the days and nights are of equal length. Many see it as the end of harvest or a second harvest. It's basically all the fields have been done and now the fruit harvest is being gathered in as well. That's why apples are so often associated with Mabon. And this time of year, it's also the time for Harvest Festival and the celebration of the fruitfulness that summer and all the good weather has brought. It's also the time of year when, in many cultures anyway, and certainly in the past, the animals that have been bred over the course of the year are slaughtered. Not as any sort of sacrifice or ritual, but just that the meat can be preserved. It can be salted and pickled and everything else to make it last the winter. You know, this is a necessity. And there were a lot of rites and rituals around thanking the animals for their sacrifice, basically, so that we could survive through the winter. In some ways, that's partly why I'm quite happy to have created this Obby Oss as a reindeer, because if we look to cultures outside of the UK, you find people like the Sami people who cull reindeer at this time of year, so they've got meat to last them through the winter. And the Sami, as it happens, also follow something like the Wheel of the Year. They have a calendar that has 8 seasons. It has winter, winter, spring, 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 summer, 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 autumn, 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 winter, and then back to winter. So there's a nice parallel there, I thought, and it also kind of gives me an oblique explanation for why I made a reindeer instead of a horse. The real reason, of course, is that I made this thing. It didn't look like a horse, it looked more like a cow or a reindeer, and I happened to have some horns kicking around I found in a pound shop a couple of years ago. Yeah, all right. Back to the shoot.
No sun shining down on me. My stomach's filled with nothing but conspiracy. I can't get nobody to tell me the truth. What's a hungry fella to do? Well, you can canonize the devil, you crucify a saint, but you can't replace a half and half with everything made. But Jesus make you breakfast with his fresh white shell toast on.
Oh, it's catering time. It's catering time. Look at this.
Wow.
Homemade samosas, care of Arif and family. Oh,
No,
look at that.
Go and gather you here.
Kill me anyway.
Not letting you.
We were knackered.
Yeah, I was talking to her from my point of view, you know, from a
Which is weird because coming back to down,
music point of view,
literally
really.
like the other side of the woods.
She was like,
It's a slow motion. Oh, look at this, look, the slow motion grapes. Oh my goodness. Do you not want someone to peel them for you first? Oh, what a spread. Look at this food. It's fantastic. Hello, Andy.
I said a lot of people, a lot of kids won't read it.
What a great crowd. What a great crowd. Well, there you go. Another photo shoot in the can. Only 2 to go now. We've just got to do Letha, which is all to do with midsummer bonfires, which will be perfect for filming around bonfire night on November the 5th. And we've got Yule to do, which is of course the end of the year reflection, looking back over the year that's gone by. We've got both of them planned out. We've got locations, we've got models. We're ready to go. So they'll both be shot in the next fortnight, definitely. And then the whole calendar will be complete. Then we can get it printed. Then we can get it out to those people who have pre-ordered it. If you haven't yet, why not? There's a bit at the end of this video that tells you how. In the meantime, thanks ever so much for watching. And if you have liked it and you have subscribed to it, thank you for that too. Every subscriber counts. And I'll see you in the very next video. So, doodle pip. And don't forget that our neopagan Wheel of the Year calendar is now available to pre-order. UK residents simply scan the QR code. Overseas customers email us at copa.artist@gmail.com and we'll try and work out the cheapest way of posting it to you. Thanks very much. If you've enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing. Or click on some of these links to look at some of the other videos on the channel. Or press the like button. Or leave a comment. It would be lovely to hear from you. Any combination of those 4 things would be wonderful. Thank you very much.